Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to tell you a little bit more about myself. Travis Johnson from Lake Superior College, where I am an online student, full-time there. I also serve as a student body president, and I also serve as the governing council representative for the North Central region here at MSCSA. I've decided to run for vice president because I've served in many other leadership capacities, and I found that leadership has become my calling. And I really want to continue that role with this association, and this is kind of the next step for me. And I also have developed quite the dedication for education that I didn't realize I had when I started going to school. So, all right.
Okay, the first question. How do you plan on engaging both the platform committee and the students around legislative issues?
One of my biggest goals, if I'm elected for next year, is to start right off the bat with our membership on training them to understand what's going on in our platform document. We have a platform document that's been set and formed over the last 10 years. And one of the pieces that I think is kind of harmful to our association is that not many people have the chance to understand what's in that platform document. And so right off the bat, I want to start picking that apart and explain to people what each part of that platform document actually means and why we oppose or support an item. And so I'd like to hold some kind of workshop right off the bat that will be going through our platform. That would be my starting point anyways.
Okay, the second question. What skills do you have that would equip you to mediate a heated debate?
Well, I'd like to start off by saying that I've had a very interesting year on my student senate. One thing I learned my first year on my student senate, I was a member that could vote, and now this year I'm not a member that can vote. And so I've really definitely learned how to look at everything with an open-minded perspective and look at the pros and cons to each side of a situation, and then also deliver those opinions on each side so that everybody knows what's going on. And so I've done a very good job of, at least I think, of coming together with a collective opinion and helping everybody stay on task without getting too upset and moderating the group.
Third question. In your opinion, what is the most important role that the vice president has?
Well, first of all, chairing the platform committee. That's the #1 role for the vice president. But one of the biggest things that I think a vice president should do for an association is train its members. And what I've seen from past organizations is that that is one of the key duties for a vice president. So I think one of my biggest goals for next year would be to completely train our membership right off the bat. And so I think that is above and beyond the #1 role, aside from running the platform committee.
Okay. Conflict can be considered a positive thing that allows relationships to develop and grow. Describe a situation you were in that involved conflict, then describe how you handled that conflict.
Well, I had an interesting beginning to my year as president of the Student Senate at Lake Superior College. One of my cabinet members and I didn't agree on a lot of things, and one of the situations that we ran into was how to support an item that the Student Senate wanted to take on, and his view was that he was kind of straying towards advocating for his view and not collectively as a Student Senate, and so I just did a very good job of just reminding him that we need to be focused on the group's opinion and not his opinion, and so I think I did a pretty good job of swaying that back into the opinion of our Student Senate.
What are the two most pressing state legislative issues affecting higher education, and explain those issues in as much detail as you can?
Well, obviously the state is in a very intense economic crisis right now, and so of course that's affecting our tuition and our fees at our campuses. So I think that is probably the biggest thing, as we advocate for that every year as a #1 item. Was the second part to that?
The two most pressing state legislative issues affecting higher education, and explain them in as much detail as you can.
Okay, so obviously everybody knows what tuition is, and so I think that we need to just do a good job of letting the representatives know that we're going to continue fighting for our tuition. Another pressing issue that I think has a very direct but also indirect role in higher education is healthcare. And one of the things that I look at right now is I work for a job that provides healthcare to part-time employees, and so I think that one of the important things that we can get out to our students that some of those options are available. So when things like tuition are increasing and we can't afford paying for college, there's other things that are going to help us out, like healthcare through our employment, so that we are healthy students and can afford to be taken care of.
Okay, and then the final question. What are the two most pressing federal legislative issues affecting higher education, and explain these issues in as much detail as you can?
I think that the tuition also boils up to the federal level. We're seeing some interesting decisions being made with the new and current administration on the federal level, involving how we're going to be funding higher education in the future, and I'm really interested to see the experience of advocating for our students on the federal level to try to get the best tuition agreement that we can out of our federal administration, which will tie back into our state as well. Another issue that I see is accessibility is a major issue, so that there's some students that can't go to college because of eligibility issues, and I think it's really important that we do the best that we can in the future to help those students get to college and figure out those eligibility requirements and get them out of the way so that we can get more students in college and have a more educated country.
Okay, and you have a 1-minute closing statement.
Again, I'm really excited to be running for this position, and I just want to thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm a really, really dedicated, hardworking person, and I really think I can give a lot to this association for next year, and I really hope you'll consider me for the vice president position, and I know you guys will all do a great job of picking everybody, so thank you.